The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
A little sprinkling of frost over the San Gabriels, which loom behind the old Rose Bowl, the Granddaddy, out in Pasadena, California, sitting in the Arroyo Seco. And today on ABC Sports, the 78th playing of the game matches Washington and Michigan. They're 1-1 against each other in the old Rose Bowl, with Washington winning in 78 and Michigan coming back to win it in 81. Today, both teams are very prominent in all the national polls, and this game will have some meaning before the voting is done. You can see how four major polls rank them: Washington on top in 2, and Miami on top in the other 2. So what happens here today and in Miami tonight will have a great deal to say about which team can boast for the next year. We're number 1. The game we've been waiting for. Let's play it. Michigan will kick off. Washington will receive. Huskies in white, the visiting team. Napoleon Kaufman and Jay Barry are deep as J.D. Carlson kicks it off to the 12. It is Kaufman. It is Kaufman within a step of going all the way. So the Huskies open with a big return of 38 yards and good field position.
Well, this is what the University of Washington brings into this ball game, and that is speed. You see it from the first play of the ball game. A huge gap up the middle. The kickoff coverage for the Wolverines not there, and Kaufman gives them outstanding field position for their first drive.
Peoples was the man who saved the touchdown. The ball is at midfield. It is first down for the Washington Huskies in the white. Billy Joe Hobart is the quarterback. He turns, he fakes, he throws it down the pipe. It's thrown to Bino Bryant, and Bryant will have about 4 yards on the play. Otis Williams bringing him down. Billy Joe Hobart on the season had 22 touchdowns, 2,200 plus yards. That's a bunch, but he was picked off 10 times, meaning he's a big, strong guy who will sometimes force it. Mario Bailey had an All-American season for the Washington Huskies at wide out. And the big guys up front, the line is anchored by 2 300-pounders. Kennedy at 3 1/4, Malamala at 305. On second down and 6, this is Bino Bryant. He's a youngster from the Los Angeles area. He stopped at the 41-yard line on the carry, and it'll be third down and 1 coming up. Defensively, the Michigan Wolverines line up with the Butkus Award winner Eric Anderson at the linebacking position. This means something because no Michigan man has won an individual award since 1940. Desmond Howard, of course, was the other man winning individual honors this year. The secondary, the leader back there, is Lance Dutton, lanky fellow who is a tough football player. On third down and a yard, they give it to Bryant. Bryant is hammered short. They've stopped him. He stuck his head in the right side trying to find the first down, and the Wolverines take him down, and the man wearing 37 was at the bottom of the pile, and you would expect that, wouldn't you? Eric Anderson.
Anderson has led this team in tackles the last 4 years. He played as a true freshman, led the team in tackles every year that he's been there.
So the Huskies fiddle away that prime field position in the opening possession, and Desmond Howard goes back to receive the punt from John Wardell.
Such a fake punt here, Keith. A great chance to do it.
Up, they bounce it back to Wardell. He gets it off, and it's a very high, long kick, soaring out of bounds in the end zone, and Michigan will possess the ball out at the 20. 41-yard punt. And so the Michigan defense comes to the sideline, jacked up by their ability to hold the Huskies. Elvis Gerbach Look at the last two numbers there. 24 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. That'll warm the cockles of any coach's heart. Desmond Howard, of course, was the Heisman Trophy winner, the Maxwell winner. He set all kinds of records. And Ricky Powers is the man you'll see carrying that ball probably a lot today. But let's see what happens for Michigan on their first offensive play of the ball game. Van Dyne goes in motion. Gerbach gives the ball to Powers, and he rips his way out to the 27-yard line, running over the left side. That's where big Greg Skrepenak works. The offensive front for Michigan is led by Skrepenak, but a key man here, Bob Greasy, is Matt Elliott. He has to move over to the center position because Steve Everett has hurt a leg. On second down and 3, the Wolverines get the first down at the 31-yard line with Ricky Powers, the 205-pound sophomore from Akron, Ohio, carrying the ball. For Washington, that tackle was made by Jaime Fields. He's one of a core of linebackers that can really run. The big wrecker inside is Steve Empman, number 90. He spent about 8 hours in a hospital the past week trying to get rid of a virus. Gerbach is sacked back inside the 25. He fumbled the football, and Michigan apparently keeps it.
One of the key matchups all day will be Steve Empman, number 90 in the white jersey, whomever is blocking him, to try and keep him out of there. He is the Outland Award winner, the Lombardi Award winner, causes the fumble. I don't know if Gerbach got it back or one of those big offensive linemen, maybe Skeen or Elliott or Kokozo.
You've just seen why Steve Empman is considered the premier defensive football player out of the trenches this season. Gerbach gives to Powers. Into the stack he goes. Nothing doing. 57, Tyrone Rogers right there. Donald Jones, 48. I mean, they have got some assassins up on that defensive front for this Washington defensive unit.
Defensive unit really attacks, Keith. It's like an in-your face. They're up in the face of the offensive line. They're coming across. Take a look at the defensive guys. The 2 corners will be assigned to stopping Desmond Howard here this afternoon.
Howard is yet to be involved except for the kick return. It is 3rd down and 17, and Gerbach is sacked for the second time. Number 48, Donald Jones, came whistling in from the outside position and took him down. And so the Washington defense will leave the field all jacked up. And let's turn for a moment to Bo Schembechler, who is here for this Rose Bowl game as a member of our team. Coach, you've seen both sides play some pretty good defense.
Well, Michigan dodged the bullet on that great kickoff return by Washington, but they've got to protect the passer. If they can't protect the passer, it's going to be a long afternoon.
This will give Washington good field position again as Bryant fields the punt, brings it back to the Michigan side of the field. And the Huskies will go to work at about the Michigan 46-yard line.
Strengths of these teams, Washington offensively, they second in the nation in scoring, averaging 42 points a game. Michigan, number 1 in the Big Ten against the run. They have not allowed a rushing touchdown in the last 22 quarters.
Huskies come out with a different set. Phipps bottom of the picture. No back offense. Whip it out there to beat O'Brien. Bryant down the sidelines, gets it to the 42, where he is taken down by Michigan's number 43, Pat Mallory. So they come out with trips to the bottom of the picture.
And when they did that, Keith, they substituted 3 wide receivers. Michigan also substituted and went to 6 defensive backs.
Make that Pat Maloney on the tackle. Billy Joe Hobart with 2nd down and 6 now. Puts Jay Barry behind him in the backfield. Gives the ball to him on a little delay. And Barry out of North Glen, Colorado. We'll move it across the 40 to about the 38. And let's check in now with our colleague, Jack Arute.
Well, Keith, earlier in the week, there was a heavy rainfall here in Southern California, and many people were concerned about the condition of the turf. They had it covered. In fact, it was wet yesterday. It's considered fast today because they brought a helicopter in to dry it. But remember here at the Rose Bowl, when the sun goes down, this turf gets very, very slick from the dew.
It also gets very, very cold in the canyon. Don James, his first undefeated team in his coaching career. They are 11-0, and here goes Barry again. He rips his way for the first down at the Michigan 28-yard line. Top runner. His daddy Odell was a professional football halfback.
Take a look at the offensive line surge. There's two backs. One number right there going to blow the linebacker back on his back. That's 31, that's Turner, and Matt Jones, number 22, just run right over the linebacker. Great blocking by the two backs.
They line up with the eye. Hobert back, looks down the pipe, goes down the middle and throws a bad pass. It is intercepted by Otis Williams. And the Wolverines have something going on a fine return off the interception. So Hobert tried to throw it down the middle, and when you throw it down the middle, all kinds of bad things can happen to you, and it just did. Turnover, Huskies.
Go back and take a look at the interception. This is what Hobert sees right here. Nobody in the middle of the field. It's a double zone. Now what he's trying to do is get the ball to his tight end down here in the middle. But watch this linebacker as he comes over and jams the tight end, knocks him off his route, and then he can't get down the middle of the field. So he throws it further to the outside. The safety comes back in, and Williams makes the interception.
Otis Williams comes away with the interception. And now the Michigan Wolverines possess the football at their own 46-yard line. First down, no score, first quarter, 8:24 to go in the first period. And with the Wolverines in possession, their team strengths.
Well, they're fourth in the nation in scoring. And Washington, they are the best defense overall in the country. They'll come after you.
Ball is given to Ricky Powers, running to the left side. And he gets a greeting from number 54, David Hoffman. And I'll tell you, folks, that is a how do you do when Mr. Hoffman leans on you.
After that turnover by Michigan, take a look at how the Washington defense has reacted. Only given up 10 points after 20 turnovers by the Washington offense. That is outstanding. We'll show you the flip side of that a little later.
Second down and 8. Matt Elliott doing the snapping. They go to the shotgun. Good snap, little delay, handoff to Powers, and Powers is hit by Hoffman. Knocks him off his track, and then he is taken down.
Hoffman, you know, we talk about Eric Anderson for Michigan winning the Butkus. This man right here is an outstanding linebacker. All-American first-team linebacker. He's led this team in tackles the last 2 years. This is, if you're looking for linebackers, these two teams have it.
You put Anderson and Hoffman inside together, and nobody would dare send back in there. He'd never come out. Third down, 7. Pressure coming. Mason right there. Passes away. Incomplete. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Desmond Howard was under the ball in the neighborhood, but Andy Mason was right in Gerbach's face. And so it brings up fourth down. This game may belong to the defenses.
They did have some form of double coverage that time on Howard, Keith, but the out was still there. If he would have broke to the inside, it was double coverage. But outside, he was all right.
Ascona is in to punt it. And Vino Bryant is back to take it.
Vino Bryant,
and we've got an even 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. 78th Rose Bowl game. Eddie shanked it. Kicking game edge, I would think, probably belongs to Washington in this ball game because of what you just saw. Tournament House, which is where the Tournament of Roses conducts its business, former private residence here in the city of Pasadena. Old Boulevard. Beautiful old building and beautiful setting. And a beautiful old city. And Washington comes up to the line now with Jimmy Harper leading the team of officials from the Southeastern Conference. And Billy Joe Hobart turns, gives to Bino Bryant, and Bryant tried to plant and cut, and it was a kind of a slow-moving, slow-developing play, and by the time he got to where he wanted to be, there was nothing to do, and Sun Dodger had a late night last night.
He's waiting for the fourth quarter. He knows how these things go.
Sun Dodger is his name. Alaskan Malamute. Gary Moeller in his second season, and he has a remarkable record going at 19-4. Back goes Hobart on second down and 10. Throws the Hummer, and it is in and out of the hands of his tight end, Aaron Pierce. Hobart is a big guy. He stands 6'3". He weighs 231 pounds. He's a sophomore. And if he gets all jacked up, and he always is at the start of a ball game, I mean, he can break your hand.
Well, Hobart, Keith, is a sophomore, and that is the key thing right there. He's 11-0 as a starter. He's had a great year, second in the Pac-10 in passing. But if there is a weakness to this Washington team, it's the inconsistency of the quarterback in big games.
Pressure coming, pass away, Orlando McKay, and it is slapped away. You had double coverage back there. But I want you to know, if Coleman Wallace doesn't knock it out of his hands, he catches it. And McKay can fly.
Take a look at the ground level. Good pressure coming from the left side. That's Jamie Birch, number 7. There's a good shot at the play. Just good defense.
Yep. Coleman played it well. All right. Washington will go back to the punt. Waddell standing at the 10, will hit it around the 14. Desmond Howard is now up at the 30, waiting for it. Good punt by Waddell. Runs Howard back to the 22. Gets a little help around the corner and brings it out to the 37. That's about a 15-yard punt return by Desmond Howard. The Grand Marshals of the 1992 Tournament of Roses, Congressman Ben Nighthorse Campbell of Colorado, Native American in one of the cars. His Grace Cristobal Colon of Spain in the second automobile with his lady. And following the Grand Marshals, the Queen. Her royal court, Queen Tanasan Turrentine of Pasadena. Tyrone Wheatley is in the backfield now for the Michigan Wolverines. Maybe the fastest of the Swift. And here's Gerback. Let me go for Desmond Howard. It is intercepted on the ricochet by Walter Bailey. Both corners were back there with Howard on the deep post.
Bailey kind of gave it the Heisman step there, just as Desmond had done in the Ohio State game. This is a reverse, fake reverse, is covered the entire way. Howard tries to give the outside power. Cohen, number 21, is in good shape. Howard makes an effort for it. Bailey is there to get the reflection.
Bailey gets tripped up now. You see, there's nobody around him. Walter could have run a while, except he got tangled up in the melee between Howard and Paukoa. And so the first big try involving Desmond goes to Washington. This is Bino Bryant carrying the ball, a junior out of Los Angeles, and he moves it from the 9 to about the 11.
Well, if you're wondering about Desmond Howard so far in the ball game, they have double covered him a couple of times. They have covered him well deep when Michigan tried to go to him, and Washington has punted the ball to him. They're not kicking the ball away from him on punt returns.
The little man for Washington with S on his chest is number 5, Mario Bailey. He's yet to see the ball. Bino Bryant, who has great speed, comes ripping over the right side, and he finds enough room and gets it across the 20 for a first down. And he got in there behind Cunningham and Caligus and found his crease.
Bino is the fastest man on this Washington team, and they do have some speed. Up front, the blocking is there. You see all the Michigan jerseys walled off. A nice gain.
Hobart back. Screen set up for Bryant. And a good defensive play by guess who? Eric Anderson, number 37. Always in the right place at the right time, it seems.
Well, not only did he read the screen correctly, Keith, and get over there, but he fought off the block of one of the offensive linemen. He didn't allow himself to be blocked and went up and made the tackle.
Ball rests at the 23, where it is 2nd down and 8. No score, first quarter. Hobart back. Gets his pass off. Whoa. Mario Bailey is just ripped by Coleman Wallace. Tomorrow, start the new year right with 3 hours of all new programming. James Earl Jones and Richard Quinter. First in pros and cons, then an ABC special, men and women, pushing themselves to the limit, to the extreme edge, followed by Diane Sawyer and Sam Donaldson on Drive Time Live tomorrow night on ABC. Dean O'Brien rolled up short of the line of scrimmage, and the first hit came from Ninef Aga Khan, the middle guard for Michigan. And the Wolverine defense stands tall again.
Lloyd Carr, the defensive coordinator for Michigan, substituting along with Washington. When Washington goes 3 wide receivers, he's got 5 and 6 defensive backs. When they're going to run the ball, he's got his run defense in there.
So the Huskies get 1 first down, but stall, and now Wardell is back to punt, and he's having a good day on 2 kicks.
This is dangerous living right here, punting to Desmond Howard.
No pressure, not quite as long as the other, and this time Desmond says, I got a good field position, don't want to mess it up, fair catch it at the 32-yard line after a 39-yard kick. The Flint Columbia giving us our picture from the sky today out of Carson, California, with Charles Russell, our pilot, and the cameraman is Glenn Hampton. And the sky is blue. We've got 3:06 to play in the first quarter, and no score in the ball game as the defenses have just simply owned everything to this point.
You look at Michigan offense in the Big Ten. They also are the fewest sack team in the Big Ten. The quarterback has been sacked only 6 times.
I would guess somebody must have moved because the Huskies came pouring through.
We have an illegal procedure, offense, illegal snap, 5-yard penalty.
One of my favorite officials, Jamie Harper.
That's the center here. That's Matt Elliott. Whoops. We used to do that in Sandlot. You know, when we want to pull the other guy off, we'd half snap it and pull it back, and we'd get all those guys jumping.
This is Wheatley. He's got company. Dana Hall and James Clifford. Clifford, 53, is an inside linebacker, and Hall, number 5, is a 200-pound cornerback. And it's the 3rd tackle in the ball game for a loss by the Huskies.
Well, you wonder about the Husky defense. Take a look at this. We could have put more ones up there if we wanted. They lead the Pac-10 in every defensive category.
2nd down and 17. Verbeck going to throw it. Going to go deep with it. Throwing it for Howard, and it is incomplete. And the coverage this time by Pawakoa. I tell you what, I don't know that I want my free safety Pawakoa covering Desmond Howard.
This was in and out coverage. This will be regular speed. Now 15 is Tommy Smith. 21 is Pawakoa. Look at him, inside out. They got him inside out. Now look, he's even with the double coverage inside and out. The ball could have been thrown further, and if it were, I think you could have run for it.
Ball rests at the 24-yard line. It is 3rd down and 17. They're out of the shotgun. Verbeck's pass over the head of Yale Van Dyne and incomplete. And his feet got a little happy that time. He was doing a little dancing before the ball was released as he could hear the thundering hoofs. He is 0 for 4. 2 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the first quarter and no score. As Kona, who shanked it the last time, is in to kick it. Vino Bryant is back to receive it. Huskies should come out of this with good field position. 10 people up on the line, 10 white shirts. They're revving up. And not much pressure. That's a very, very high kick. And a fair catch called by Vino Bryant. And it'll be Washington's ball just about their own 46-yard line. The 1992 Rose Bowl, brought to you by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering. By HBO, simply the best. By Hertz, we never forget who made us #1. We're Hertz. We're America's wheels. And by Mr. Goodrich and your participating GM dealers, keeping quality on the road. So the Huskies will have it again as the defenses continue to dominate. Hobert will throw it on first down. Underneath it goes to Aaron Pierce, the tight end, a 240-pound senior. And he will pick up about 8 yards as Eric Anderson makes the tackle. You see Hutchinson running by in the picture there. That is Chris Hutchinson, the junior out of Houston, Texas, who's had a number of injuries, and it slowed him down, but at least he's getting to play in this Rose Bowl game.
Huskies in the Pac-10, awfully good also.
Penalty flags.
We have an illegal procedure, illegal movement, offensive line, 5-yard penalty.
Jack Arute.
Well, Keith, a lot of talk early in the week, as you said, about Steve Emtman and his condition. He came down with the flu, a very serious case of it. They put him in the hospital, as you said. They pumped fluids in him. I talked with Dr. Steve Bramwell, who's the chief physician for the Washington Huskies, and he said he's almost, actually 90% today. I said, well, is that enough to play? He says, listen, I've played in a Rose Bowl. You can get that extra 5% real easy.
They may have to rest him some today, though, which is not the norm for it. 2nd down and 7 now for the Huskies. Hobert wanted to go deep, goes underneath with it, gets his first down on the completion to Aaron Pierce. He got away from Otis Williams to get the first down. Hobert looked deep because that's where he had Mario Bailey going, but he was not available.
And that's the way a good quarterback does it. As you take a look at the weather today, a great day, really. Quarterback wants to look deep first to see if he can throw long, and if he can't, he comes back to his outlets, which are all short receivers.
Orlando McKay loses the ball in the arms of Eric Anderson. And that's probably kind of like trying to brush your teeth in a 12-foot boat on a 9-foot wave, because you ain't going to hold it if Anderson got a hold of you.
Anderson knows where to look. He's just dropping straight back. Washington has run a lot of wide receiver slants, a lot of crossing routes. He was in a zone. He dropped back and looked to the outside. Anderson won the Butkus Award, emblematic of the outstanding linebacker in the country.
2nd down and 10 from the 40. Hobert right in between Gaspard and McKay. And got plunked on the seat of his britches by Chris Hutchinson.
Billy Joe throwing against a defense that is really more susceptible to the pass than they are the run. Here you take a look at their run defense. They lead in turnover margin, but they're 5th in the league in going against the pass. That defense has improved a great deal throughout the year.
Yep. 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. No score. Hobert turns, fakes it, lets it go deep. Bailey got it! 6-yard line. 1st and goal, Huskies. He got away from Johnson. Mario Bailey. 34-yard catch.
Well, here's Bailey. He is the inside man. The outside man is going to come and run a hook in the middle, and Bailey is going to swing outside and down the sideline. A little change of routes. The man in the top left of your screen reads it pretty well. Sees him back there, but doesn't think he can get the ball. Big play for Michigan.
Bailey is 5'7". Went up and got it. Bryant to the 5.
There's Johnson, number 28, Keith, the defensive back that was back there. Michigan plays a lot of defensive backs. He is like their 7th or 8th defensive back that's in the ball game. Lloyd Carr has confidence in all of those guys.
Otis Williams, a strong safety, came in on that last play, penetrated, and made the tackle on Bryant behind literally the line of scrimmage. His falling forward was good for a yard. As we come to the end of the quarter, Bino Bryant surges behind the offensive front and goes down to the 2, where it will be 3rd down and goal for the Huskies as we come back for the second quarter. As we come back for the second quarter of play, let me turn quickly to Bo Schembechler and Coach, see what you think of the ball game to this point.
Well, as you've said, Keith, the defenses have dominated till late in that first period. The big pass to Bailey really is the entire first quarter offense. I think that both teams are going to have to establish some sort of a running game and try to pass short a little bit more rather than going for the deep ones all the time.
It is now 3rd down and goal. They're calling it the 2-yard line. Turner is in the backfield with Bryant. Is it Hobert keeping it? And touchdown for Billy Joe. That's one of the values of having a 230-pound quarterback.
We'll give the Oscar to Bino Bryant, the tailback. Watch Bino, the I-back. Watch the fake here. That takes out Eric Anderson, the Butkus Award winner, and then he just scoots around, finds a crack, and gets in for the touchdown.
And somebody had a heck of a block on Buster Stanley. Here's Travis Hansen for the extra point try, and it just got, holy cow, it just got over. How did he get that thing over there? Oh, me, it'll count. Nobody ever said how, just did it. The value of having a quarterback as your holder, huh?
Just a bad snap, and Hansen delays his kick long enough to allow him to get the ball up there. It wasn't tipped or deflected. He just didn't kick it very hard because he delayed his leg movement to allow him to get the ball up. There's a look at the drive. 2 minutes and 9 seconds, 54 plays, 54 yards on 8 plays.
Desmond Howard, 21, Tyrone Wheatley, number 6 back. Jason Kraft will kick it off for the Huskies. And he shanked that one. I mean, he popped it straight up. Huskies rolling around with the ball on the sidelines. They may have it.
You have to give the other team a chance to catch. He waved his hand for a fair catch.
Did he wave his hand? It's a question. I couldn't tell with the crowd all around him. You can fair catch a kickoff.
Didn't give him enough room to have to make the catch.
You got to have room. You got to give him 2 feet.
We got interference
2 yards
with opportunity to make a fair catch. 15-yard penalty.
All right, it blows up in the Huskies' face then.
Well, originally they're doing this, the old pooch kickoff, to get it away from Desmond, but this ball doesn't go far enough. Van Dyne, 34, signaled for a fair catch, but Hall, number 5, came down and interfered with him.
Well, the rule says 2 yards for, he's got to give him 2 yards and an opportunity to catch the ball.
I don't think James did that with the intention of going down there and himself catching it. I think they just wanted to pooch it and keep it away from Desmond Howard.
I don't think they wanted it. I'm pretty sure they weren't looking for a 20-yard kick. Jesse Johnson is now in the backfield for Michigan as the Wolverines start on the Washington side of the field at the 44-yard line. Johnson is number 30, Gerback back. Lets it go, and Howard's over there. It is caught by Desmond Howard. He whipped Dana Hall on that play. And so the Wolverines come up with a big play, and there's a penalty flag back upfield. But it's against Washington.
Now watch this. He's going to run an out and up. Hall doesn't bite on the out. So Hall is deep. He's in great shape. The ball is underthrown. Now Desmond Howard comes and takes the ball away from him. How many times have we seen that this year where the ball is up for grabs and Howard just goes and makes the plays?
He wants it more than other people.
Just out-jumps him.
Yep.
He's only 5'11", but he out-jumps him.
We had a defensive face mask. Interior lineman, the penalty is declined.
And so it is 1st and goal for the Michigan Wolverines at the Washington 9-yard line. Leggett is number 40. Johnson is number 30. Did they get set in the backfield? I'm not sure. They weren't moving around. Johnson carries the ball. And at 14:30 to go in the first half, let's pause 5 seconds for our ABC stations to tell you who they are.
You're watching WSB-TV Channel 2 Atlanta.
Joe Hobart taking it in from 2 yards. Now Michigan is threatening on 2nd down and goal with Ricky Powers, the tailback. The single back for the Wolverines. They're showing a lot of new formations today. Made a lot of changes because of the Washington defense. Gerbach pitches it to Howard. Pressure. Down he goes at the 10-yard line. Number 15, Tommy Smith, the strong safety or rover, came thundering in to make the play.
Michigan has 2 tight ends out here, and one's a fullback. They both block down. Powers, that's another tackle for a loss.
That's 4.
4 tackles for losses already in a little bit more than a quarter for Washington.
They mark him at the 9, make it 3rd down and goal from where the first down snap occurred after Desmond Howard's catch. Wheatley checks in, and Michigan spends a timeout, stopping the clock at 13:14 to go in the first half. And Michigan trying to tie it up in this series.
Take a look at this graphic. Michigan started on the Washington side of the 50-yard line. Heretofore, only 13 opponents' drives that have started inside of Washington's territory have accounted for only 2 touchdowns. And here's what Michigan has done inside the 20. They like to go to Desmond Howard.
Here's something new right here. You got Yale Van Dyne lining up at tailback. He's a wide receiver. Now they put him in motion, and they send him over to this side, double there. Look at Howard the other way. Gerbach with good protection into the end zone. Touchdown! Caught by Walter Smith. That's what Gerbach will do to you when he has time.
Look at him. He looks to the right the whole time. Look at him. He's looking for Howard. Now he comes back the other way. He says, okay, if I can't throw it to Howard, I'll throw it to Smith. Outside technique by the corner allows him to run the slant. He's got help inside, but the throw is over the inside linebackers. And a great play.
And a chance to tie with John Dennis Carlson. Good.
Take a look at the bottom of your screen right here. Here he is. Here's the man that's going to catch the ball. He's going to run a slant in here. But Howard is the man up here. They're both running slants. Gerbach is going to look to Howard first, and then finally, when he can't get the ball into Desmond, will he come back and throw to his left? There's a lot of traffic in there. He feeds that ball in there pretty nicely. There's a look at Howard. That's Fields, number 3, helping out with Hall. The linebacker, they've got him triangled. He would have had to throw the ball over Hoffman. Instead, he goes the other way, throws it over the linebackers.
Looking at that a second time, I'm going to suggest to you that number 34, the man who had gone in motion, was probably the intended receiver. Went through his hands, and Walter Smith caught it in the back of the end zone.
That's a possibility, but you'll never get the quarterback to tell you that.
At least you're honest.
I wouldn't eat it.
All right, Michigan, having tied it at 7, will kick it off. 13:09 to go in the first half. On a bounce, the ball goes to Jay Barry. And the young man from Colorado is across the 30 to the 32. And coming up after the Rose Bowl game, we've got the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and the Fighting Gators of Florida. And there's going to be a lot of fighting going on in the USF&G Sugar Bowl. That comes right after the Rose Bowl. Al Michaels, Dan Dierdorf, and Frank Gifford, and 413 of the faithful are all down there. Al Michaels, Dan Dierdorf, and Frank Gifford, and 413 of the faithful are all down there. Mark Brunell is in at quarterback for the Washington Huskies. He's the man who led them to a win here a year ago against the Iowa Hawkeyes. So the left-hander, who suffered a brutal knee injury last spring, fights his way back, and he's in the lineup right now. And he turns and hands, and it's carried by Barry from the 30, call it the 33, out to about the 36 or 7.
And this is planned with Brunell coming in the second quarter. Don James told me a couple days ago, we'll go with Brunell, give him a series in the second quarter, just like we did Hobart last year when Brunell was playing. In fact, Brunell was the Rose Bowl MVP of the game last year.
Mark is from Santa Maria, which is up San Luis Obispo, beyond Santa Barbara area. Sets up the throw, a little quick pop to the sideline to Matt Jones. Jones out of Portland, Oregon, is taken down after the catch. And Michigan came away with it, but no big deal. The ball was down. Here's Jack.
Keith, you would think after scoring that touchdown that Coach Gary Moeller would be happy. Well, he's not. He chided his entire offensive crew. He said, we had to use a timeout because I called the play on the sidelines, and you did not utilize it. When they got to the line, you saw the timeout. He's very concerned about the players being tight, slapping each other, being very upset about things. He says, you've got to calm down.
Jay Barry moves out of the backfield now. No backs. Brunell throws, pass caught by Pierce, the tight end. Big play. Aaron Pierce dancing down the sidelines to nearly the Michigan 35. He got away from Steve Morrison.
Aaron Pierce is right here. There's a man lined up outside of him, but he's just going to go down and break to the outside. 3 backs to the wide side of the field. Brunell drops back, reads the coverage very well, and hits his tight end coming to the outside. This is a good tight end, Keith.
It is not surprising. He's very much involved in the offense. He's made 3 catches for 45 yards already.
The key thing there was he was the man that was covered by a linebacker.
So Brunell's got a little something going here. Gives it back to Barry. He spins in the middle, and that spin is worth 3 yards. There he is again. Oh, number 37. Eric Anderson.
Mark Brunell tore that knee up in the spring. It was a spring scrimmage. It was happened to, in fact, Donald Jones, the defensive end, fell on him. He recovered, made a miraculous recovery. Missed 2 or 3 games at the start of this season, and then has been the backup for Billy Joe Hobart the rest of the year.
On second down, Brunell back, setting up a screen again for Barry. He's got a block. And now it goes away as he's taken down right on the 30. And the tackle is made by Lance Dotton, number 22. So he's going to be looking at 3rd down and what? Close to 5.
You know, Keith, I like this, taking your quarterback out and putting in another one. It tells the starter, Hobart, who is on the sideline, hey, let me sit down and watch. Let me just calm down. You were talking about, Jack Aroo was talking about Moeller getting his troops to calm down. This is a way for James to just calm down, let another quarterback see what he can do.
Pass is drilled for the first down. A penalty flag is thrown. Again, it's Aaron Pierce, the tight end, making the catch in traffic. But Brunell put it in such a place you couldn't hardly stop it. Right between the 8 and the 4. And we'll see about the penalty here. Ed Cunningham, the Washington center, is up there. It's got a hold call. It's against Michigan. So the Huskies are going to have their first down. Whether the penalty will give them more yardage, if that's the case, they'll take that. If not, they'll take the play.
But one of the things that Gary Moeller wanted to do defensively was get jams on these receivers. Jam them at the line of scrimmage, coming off the line of scrimmage, and that time he just got called for a hold.
A 10-yard penalty in the previous spot, automatic first down.
If you get the 10-yard penalty from the previous spot instead of the ball being now at the like the 24-yard line, it's going to move on down just inside the 20. So it's first down and 10. Score is tied 7-7. You got 10:15 to play in the first half. The Washington Huskies in white against the Michigan Wolverines. Back goes Brunell again. His pass, a touch pass, thrown to number 22, Matt Jones, and Jones gets down to the 14.
Very impressive drive engineered by Mark Brunell. You've got to be impressed. He missed a lot of the training camp in August and September. Came back and throwing very well. He accounted for 25 touchdowns last year, did Brunell. 14 through the air. He ran for 10, and he caught one. So he led this team in scoring as a quarterback.
He laid his Steely Blues on me about a month ago and said, next spring I'm going to get my job back.
Yeah, it's going to be wide open.
This is Barry. I got a penalty flag back at the 11-yard line. It's thrown to the umpire. And most of the time, that's holding. And it is one more time. So that touchdown will come back. And Don James could bite a nail. The holding came on the left side of the line. And so they lose the touchdown.
Well, the first thing a coach wants to do when that happens is find out from one of the officials who was it on.
That's why they cut down all the sycamore trees around the Rose Bowl. They don't allow any ropes on the team bus.
I was wondering why.
Brunell sets up a screen for Bino Bryant. And the Wolverines run it down pretty well. The snap of the ball was back outside the 21. And he'll get about 4 or 5 yards on the play. At the conclusion of the game today, we'll pick a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each of these teams. And for the 21st year, through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each of the schools. All right, Jay Barry is back in now for the Huskies on 3rd down and 8. Without the penalty, they're leading. Comes one to the sideline to Orlando McKay, and he makes the catch down near the 5-yard line. It's first down and goal, Huskies, and there is another penalty flag on the field.
Holding, defense.
Goes the other way this time. Now Moe can get upset.
Well, one of the things that Washington likes to do is spread you out defensively. 2 wide receivers over here, 1 over here, and 1 in the backfield. The receiver that's going to get the ball is just going to go down, break to the outside, and the defensive back at the bottom of your screen, being all spread out one-on-one, will slip at the last minute. And Brunell has the ball on target on time.
Mark Brunell in this possession as a quarterback is 6 for 6, 51 yards. Jay Barry and Darius Turner in the backfield. This is Barry, cuts it back. Down he goes. Boy, that's a pretty good lick by Eric Anderson right there, sports fans.
Jay Barry stopped for no gain by Eric Anderson.
Well, this graphic right here is updated to that Washington touchdown. One rushing touchdown the last 23 quarters. They came in not allowing one in 23 quarters. A nice play there by Brian Townsend to turn that play back in, where the linebackers and defensive line can make the play.
Now you get defensive changes, and it looks like they will go to a nickel structure here with 2nd down and goal from the 5. Bryant goes in motion. Brunell keeps it. Look out. Look out. Man has a bad bad knee, and he's out there running around with the ball because there was nobody behind him. And Corwin Brown held it out and came in to make the play.
Loss of 2 on the play.
Well, he looked to pop the ball right out to the outside, but that didn't work.
Yeah, they took Bryant away from him.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure this wasn't a design. It was a design quarterback draw. Look at the lineman going downfield. It was a fake. It just didn't work. We told you, Brunell, it was a very good runner last year.
Yeah, we didn't have a bad knee last year. So they're back on the 7. Brunell looking around, pressure, gets it off into the end zone, and it is thrown away. Thrown away, and the Husky kicking team will come in.
Well, the reason this play doesn't work, Keith, and one of the strategies by Michigan, they want to jam these receivers. Watch these 3 DBs jam the 3 wide receivers as they're trying to get off the line of scrimmage. Look at them. None of them gets off cleanly. That's what took his timing off initially.
By the time McKay broke free, there were so many of those big old linemen in his face, you couldn't see him.
Messed up the timing on him.
So Travis Hansen is in now for a 24-yard field goal try. Bjornsson will hold it, and the man who snaps it is Bruce Bailey, a junior. Yeah, they came over and said something to the Wolverine side of the field and move back. You're supposed to be back in that retaining area, guys. You're creeping up on the edge of the field. You're subject to penalty, but most of the time they're going to move you back. Be friendly about it, unless you abuse it. Then they'll get horsey.
I don't see what difference it makes. They're all down at one end of the field anyway.
I'm laughing because Bo just jumped out of his chair.
I mean, that Fisher was looking in the wrong direction if he's finding those guys out on the field or near it.
Travis Hansen puts it up good. And Washington goes back to the lead at 6:52 to play in the first half by a margin of 3. (1978) the Washington Huskies and the Michigan Wolverines had at it here in the Rose Bowl. Warren Moon with his 28-yard pass to Spider Gaines led the Huskies out to a 24-0 lead. Then they hung on to win 27-20. Now, as we get ready for the kickoff following the field goal, let's turn to Bo Schembechler one more time and get reflections on the game.
I thought that was a great drive by Washington by Mark Brunell in the short passing game. Took him down there to score, lost the touchdown on the penalty. Then Michigan did a great job, I thought, defensively in forcing the field goal. I think Michigan has to move the football on this drive. They haven't done it yet, and they haven't run the football well yet. And I think they've got to do it now.
Crab is out to kick it, is he? And last time he tried it, the Pooch kick it, and he pumped it straight up the elevator shaft. Desmond Howard and Tyrone Wheatley.
They're standing on the 15-yard line, too, Howard.
Yeah, that's not very respectful, is it? Hansen had a bad back, Travis Hansen, early in the season, and I think that's why they don't particularly want him kicking off. But this time, Crab hammers that thing back to the 3-yard line for Howard. Down he goes. Ball came out, but he's down, and it's on the 13-yard line. Lamar Lyons, a freshman, number 25, and Lamar's got something to talk about the rest of his life.
Well, Howard tries to get in a little bit of a crease, but just doesn't make it in time. Too much team speed by the Huskies.
And so the Wolverines will go to work from the 13-yard line. You put Wheatley in the backfield with Leggett. They are gathered into a tight little group, aren't they?
Let's say they were.
Wheatley, nothing doing, sir.
It's another tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Tommy Smith, number 15, was the man who came from the outside got into the backfield and disrupted everything. And from there was pretty easy.
He's a strong safety blitz. The Huskies have not allowed more than one touchdown in a quarter all year long. Michigan has already scored in this quarter. This is a very aggressive defense.
That's called the 5th tackle for a loss by the Washington defense. 6-man front right down on the defense. Give it to Wheatley, pops it through there. And he'll get it up to about the 17-yard line before Dave Hoffman and his friends make the tackle. Wheatley is a key person in this whole structure of things because he is the one guy, if he gets through past that linebacker, who can go all the way. I mean, he can really run.
Michigan plays 3 different tailbacks, and Wheatley, who is a true freshman, has the most speed, and he may be outrun them if they get a crease. Look at the defense on the left. Look how close to the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 7. They set up the screen, and the only thing wrong with it was the pass was thrown a little long, and Wheatley didn't catch it. I don't know on whom you would lay that fault.
Well, the
Wheatley had a chance to catch it.
Timing was a little messed up, so Elvis had to throw it a little bit harder, and Wheatley just didn't hang on to it. Tough day so far for Elvis Gerbach.
And so Michigan now will punt it, and Washington should come out of this with pretty good field position at 5:23 to go in the first half.
The problem with Michigan, Keith, as Bo has said, is they have to run the football. They have not got a running game going yet.
We got a new punter. Wheatley is back in punt formation. But if there is to be any deception on it, they've messed it up because they were too obvious about everything. The floats have been moved now into storage area, and some of those areas are down here by the Rose Bowl, but they will be moved into secure areas as the day goes on. On that last play, you had Eric Anderson lined up as one of the blocking backs with Wheatley into the game. It's a kind of a thing that has to be done quickly. And Anderson on 3 different occasions that we know of has run the ball for a first down out of the punt formation. But it has to be done quickly. You can't stand around and hold.
And you do it if the defense is set up correctly for it. Obviously, Michigan has seen something on the punt rush of the Huskies.
Well, you got 10 Huskies up on the line right now with their ears laid back.
It would be awfully dangerous to do it inside your own 20-yard line.
Ascona doesn't get much on it. When he dropped that ball, the back of the ball, point of the ball, back point, hit him on the ankle. He dropped it crooked.
The Michigan punting has been awful.
It's only 29 yards on that one. Now watch this drop, if you can see it. How he drops that ball. The back point is going to come down and hit him on the ankle. Now you can't see it from there.
Michigan has used, just take a look at this.
You're not going to get anything out of that.
That's almost sideways.
Yeah.
Michigan has used 2 different punters this year, Stapleton and Ascona.
Billy Joe Hobart is back at quarterback for Washington. They start at the Michigan 46-yard line, and B.J. rolls it out. Throws it complete to Darius, incomplete to Darius Turner. His fullback. First time they've tried to go to him today. Well, I don't know, but what Darius Turner might not have had himself a pretty good sized play if he caught that ball.
Yes, he did. Oh. Turner was a starter a lot last year. Came in and had some problems, injury problems. It really has not seen a lot of action this year, but that had a chance to make some yards.
Washington 10, Michigan 7, closing out the last few minutes of the first half. That pass is good to Mario Bailey. He's hit hard by Brown. Bailey gets up. He and Brown have a couple of words. Nothing is said. But you know that you will see all of these wide receivers take an extra degree of punishment today when they try to catch the ball.
Mario Bailey is right here. He's going to come down, run a square in, and Brown is right here looking for him. Mario Bailey is the man that has numbers very similar to what Desmond Howard has. There you see the hit.
This is Bean O'Brien. Nothing doing with that one. Bailey's catch, of course, good for a first down to the Michigan 29. That play's good for a couple of yards. 4.5 minutes to go in the first half. It rained hard on Monday and Tuesday here in Los Angeles. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday it started to clear up. And today is very pretty. Yesterday was sunnier than it is today.
There's Mario Bailey. You know Howard at the bottom, Heisman Trophy. Bailey beat him in receptions and yards, and there's only 2 touchdown passes behind him.
Michigan is in the neutral zone. The pass is thrown out of bounds. Incomplete. And you had Eric Anderson, I think, caught in the neutral zone. Yep. Trying to anticipate. Last possession.
Got a violation of the neutral zone by the defensive team. 5-yard penalty.
And last possession, you had Mark Brunell, who is a totally different cadence than Billy Joe Hobart. So it makes it difficult on people who are trying to anticipate. Halftime, you'll have both bands, highlights and stats. You'll also have your local news across the country. Second down and 3. Run for it. Bryant, big hole. Still going. 10-yard line. First and goal, Huskies. Bino's a tough guy. He is not a gimme. You don't arm tackle him.
Good blocking up front. 70 is Mala. Cunningham, 79. Big hole up front. This man runs a 40 in 4.3 seconds. He's a track guy. Tough guy, too. 5 100-yard games this year.
Goes again. There's a lick.
Well, there are some licks going on down there.
Ware, number 8 for Michigan.
And they know it.
Well, you know, you talk about track people. There are football players who run track and track people who try to play football, and Bino Bryant is a football player who runs track, and so is Orlando McKay.
Bino Bryant has 7 career touchdowns of 50 yards or more. And back 3, has had 4 punt returns.
Got him out in the flanker spot right now. Hobart looks at him, throws and hits him. Oh my goodness! What are you going to do? I mean, he put it right on his hands. Count your fingers, Bino. Are they all there?
Corwin Brown defending for Michigan.
Take a look at the protection. Hobart looks to his right the entire way. He finally clears some linebackers. Well, you can't put it any better than that.
That's the 3rd drop by a Husky receiver. It's 3rd down and 6. Or 3rd and goal from the 6, if you like. Bailey in the corner. No. Good defense by Coleman Wallace. And the Huskies kicking team will come in.
It was a nice play by Wallace. He comes in passing situations. The ball is underthrown. Actually, Hobart threw the ball late. If he would have thrown the ball sooner, there was a lot of area for the receiver to run to in the corner.
Hansen has a 24-yarder today. This is 23 yards out of Eric Bjornsson's hole. Bailey snapping. He's had 2 bad snaps. This one's on the money. And so is the kick. At 3:29 to go in the first half. It's now 13-7 for Washington. The attendance will be around the 100,000 plus mark, I'm sure. The tickets were kind of scarce for this one because this is an attractive matchup. So far, it is the defensive teams that have really stood up.
And the things that stand out, Michigan has not established a running game, and Elvis Gerbach has not been able to get anything going through the air. Washington has lost 2 touchdowns, 1 on the holding play and then 1 on the drop pass by Bino Bryant on this last drive.
Members of those teams are with us here today.
This is the now we're told that Sun Dodger, as we had has been retired, and this is King lead out. and I think he's tranquilized. Yard deep in the end zone for Desmond Howard. He gets away from one man and then finally comes on back up to about the 20-yard line. But again, the Huskies have got contact with Desmond Howard on the kickoff return after 11 yards. That's pretty good. If you can get your hands on him and slow him down after 10, 11, 12 yards after he takes a kick, that's pretty good.
Washington's offense is getting a little bit of a foothold in this ball game now. Michigan, on the other hand, 45 total yards in 19 plays, and rushing. They've got 1 yard rushing and 44 yards through the air.
Personal foul call is against Michigan. So Howard had him out to the 20, but now the penalty takes him back.
Penalty against Michigan moves the ball back to the 10-yard line.
Gary signaling in the play.
Well, Gary said that he wanted to run the football. He says he knows they're tough to run. He says we still need to run. They are not running because of the Washington defense. Nobody has run on this team.
Give it to Johnson, and he found a little daylight. Goes from the 10 to the 17.
Jesse Johnson, the ball carrier. Tommy Smith.
Michigan continues to rotate their tailbacks. Johnson now in there. Powers has been in there some. Wheatley was in there some, trying to find somebody that's going to get some yardage.
Diebold, tight end, shifting over. Johnson gives it off. Here it goes back to Howard. Howard's got it. He's got a wall on that side. He's got a first down. So they handle the ball a lot and finally give it away to Desmond, and Desmond gets him the first down before Dana Hall knocks him out of bounds.
They were going back and forth. I was getting dizzy. You talk about a double reverse. When you see a reverse, a lot of people say it's a double reverse. Really not. It's just a reverse. This was a double reverse. It started one way, went the other way, and then came back.
Ball is on the 34-yard line. Gerback's pass on the throne. Intended for Yale Van Dyne.
Gerback's pass incomplete. Intended for Yale Van Dyne.
East Carolina beat the Wolfpack today in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. Bill Lewis, what a job he's done. Huh?
Yep.
He's in the rumor mill for the Georgia Tech job. Syracuse beat Ohio State by 7. And California bounced Clemson pretty good, 37-13 in the Citrus Bowl, seen here on ABC Sports. Florida State beat Texas A&M 10-2, and that is a score I would never, ever have expected.
Florida A&M's a great, Texas A&M, excuse me.
Oh, my goodness. Tommy Smith has that thing right on his hands. It's lost all of its momentum, and he doesn't make the catch.
Well, it's another screen on third down passing situation. Second down, excuse me. But the screen is all messed up. It's messed up because of the defensive lineman twisting and turning up in front of him. The ball is deflected, and Smith could have had a big interception.
Third down and 10 for the Wolverines from the 34. 13-7. Washington leads. 2.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Not very good numbers for a man who came in leading the nation in passing efficiency.
Timeout, Michigan.
Timeout, Michigan.
That is their last timeout. January 11 on ABC Sports. National crowns and Olympic berths on the line. U.S. Figure Skating Championships presented by Diet Coke and NutraSweet. First on the season premiere of ABC's Wide World of Sports. Top male skaters competing for the national title. And then later in a primetime special at 9, 8 Central, the women take the ice for the ladies' final live. We'll see world champion Kristi Yamaguchi meet defending national champion Tanya Harding and world medalist Nancy Kerrigan Saturday, January 11, here on ABC Sports. Here's Jack Arute.
Well, Keith, I'm with the president of the Tournament of Roses Committee, Bob Cheney. And, Bob, you have a brand new, very special guest that's with us this weekend.
Jack, a very special guest. Yes, sir. We've had this gentleman in town see the parade and the game. And I got to tell you, I have 2 grand marshals. I have 1 coin. Both grand marshals said, let's solve the problem.
It's Joseph Scipio, who is a former hostage from Lebanon. And Joseph, you said when you were held hostage, you had one dream.
And that was to come to the Rose Bowl. And that was in 1986. And so here it is in 1992. And my dream has finally come true.
Keith, let me ask him quickly, how do you feel today?
I can't tell you how I feel. It's so marvelous. Everything is unreal. It's like, fantasy land to me today.
That's part of the Rose Bowl tradition, Keith.
Yeah, it was fun to visit with him yesterday, and we're all happy for him and his family. We're back now on 3rd down and 10. Gets his pass away, and it is poorly thrown and dropped by Jesse Johnson. And it'll be 4th down.
A lot of drop passes today for Gary Moeller and Elvis Gerbach. Ball is right there, and nobody can hold on. There's a Peacock around here somewhere.
He used to play in Oklahoma. Eddie Ascona. That's a little better. Bryant all the way back to the 14. Oh, look at this. Coming from the backside, he's tracked down by number 8 for the Michigan Wolverines, Dwayne Ware. But that was a 54-yard punt by Ascona. Just when the coach is ready to send him home on an empty railroad car, he delivers a 54-yarder.
Great hit by Ware. Bino didn't see him coming at all.
But he still gives Washington pretty good field position. The Huskies now, with 2:13 to play in the first half, have all 3 of their timeouts remaining, and they start from the 26 with Hobert at quarterback. On 1st down, the pass to Aaron Pierce, the tight end. That's out to the 32 for a 6-yard pickup. Kind of a overcast sort of a day, but very, very pleasant. Temperature expecting to get to maybe the low 70s before it starts to cool off. So it's just almost ideal playing conditions for the 2 teams. Hobert underneath again. That'll be good for the 1st down as Bino Bryant works his way to the 41-yard line. Just nickel and dime stuff, but if you got the time.
Short passing, the linebackers of Michigan getting deep drops. Pierce, the tight end, has caught 4 balls, and that one going to the back.
Minute and 59 to go in the first half. 13-7, Washington lead. Hobert loses his footing and slides down. That's the first instance, I think, where we have seen somebody run into some residual trouble from the rain. It was a little slick in that one spot. As the day goes on and as you get down toward dark, Michigan blitzing, and Hobert now pumps it up, lets it go, intercepted. Pierce didn't put the ball away. It just bounced off his chest right into the hands of Steve Morrison. Put the ball just inside the 30-yard line.
Number 36, the left inside linebacker, Steve Morrison, drops back into zone coverage, sees the play, goes up to make the tackle, and says, hey, wait a minute. This is a Christmas gift. New Year's Eve is in here. That's his 4th interception of the year for Steve Morrison.
Bob, Todd Berry, our spotter, says that Michigan had 12 men on the field on that last pass play. And got away with it.
Maybe we can go back and check.
But you certainly, Gary's not going to be squawking about it. If anybody's going to be squawking about it, it'd be Don James. The man was not involved in the play, I should say that. But he was still on the field.
I only see 11 on the field.
Well, he's running into the crowd there. But still, he was on the field. But the Wolverines trying to cash in an opportunity here. From the Washington 29, Gerbach sacked back at the 41, Steve Emtman. I hate to keep whooping an old cliche, folks, but that's a horse.
Well, he is relentless, Keith. He is just like a raging bull.
From the 41, Elvis back. Going to get it again. Number 13, Andy Mason, chases him into Empman. Now it is 3rd down and 22.
Michigan came into this game with only 6 sacks by their quarterback. On the other hand, the Huskies had sacked quarterbacks 48 times.
Andy Mason had a big day a year ago. He blocked that Iowa punt in the first quarter for the Huskies' first touchdown in last year's game. Ball is given to Tyrone Wheatley. He isn't going anywhere either. There's a loss of another yard.
That's
Nico Fraley and Tommy Smith.
8 times that the Washington defense has tackled Michigan behind the line of scrimmage. 8 times already here in the first half.
And the clock shows 23 seconds to play in the first half. Sugar Bowl comes up right after the Rose Bowl, featuring in the USF&G Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and the Fighting Gators of Florida. I think 2 of the really sharp minds in college football, Lou Holtz and Steve Spurrier, squaring off in that one.
Shane Matthews is supposed to be back from knee surgery, and I guess Lou's going to be doing the coordinating the defense.
Yep. If I were on the Florida side, I'd be worried about that.
I don't know. Lou's always been an offensive guy.
Yeah, but he's a feisty little bugger. He'll get you going. He will rattle the roof a little to wake folks up. Here's another man that's not terribly big in stature, but there ain't no doubt about who's the boss. Don James. He's had 14 bowl teams during his time at Washington, won 10.
This is his 5th appearance in the Rose Bowl, and the other 4 that he's been in, he's 3-1. He is the dean of all Pac-10 coaches and the winningest of all time in the Pac-10.
On 4th down and 25 now, Ascona is in the game. And the Huskies will keep an eye on Eric Anderson. You know, you never know. I mean, at this point, 20-odd seconds to go. Why not try something if you got something up your sleeve? And the Huskies don't want anything to do with this because they're going to let that thing roll dead down on the 3-yard line and let the clock run out and go to the clubhouse leading by 6 points.
Big disappointment for Michigan. You start on the Washington 30-yard line or thereabouts, and you end up punting the ball. You almost want to go ahead and go for it. Throw it deep down in there and see what you can get for it. But the defense has been playing pretty well.
So it only figures here that the Huskies will go for the snap, and Hobart will put a knee down, and the only thing wrong with the circumstances, they have to run the length of the field to get to the clubhouse. And that's what it's going to be at 13-7 at halftime. Well, he didn't exactly put his knee down, did he? But the half is over. So 6-point lead at 13-7 for Washington over Michigan, and we'll be back with the halftime activities after this message and a word from our ABC station. Well, there have been instances in this postseason where the defensive people have stood up on other occasions and shut down most of the high-powered offensive works, and we've got one of those things building right here, don't we?
Well, it's amazing that as dominant as Washington has been, the game is as close as it is.
Yep.
Michigan defensively has not done anything. They have not been able to establish any kind of a running game. Elvis Gerbach works best with that running game. I think they need to get him outside the pocket. And talking with Jim Lambright, the defensive coordinator for Washington, he says he doesn't move his feet well. He's slow. They don't get him outside the pocket. We're going to try and crash the pocket. They need to get him outside to give him some time.
But if he doesn't have the quick movement against this defense, can he survive moving around outside?
Well, they've got to throw quick or do something like that. They've thrown some balls deep for Desmond, he has caught some balls, but he really has not been open. The thing they need to do is establish a run, and you know, can they do it?
Well, I understand, but you establish a run, but when every time you stick your head in there, you look like you're in a sausage factory. So, you know, what are you going to do about it?
Well, that's the problem. That is the basic problem. This team is so quick. The overriding difference in these two teams is the team speed. Michigan has some speed, but they don't have the team speed that Washington has. They are a big physical, power, knock them down, smash mouth type of team. And Washington is just the opposite, and the speed now is winning.
Desmond Howard did give them the one big play, but otherwise they have contained him pretty well. As you take a look at the first half possessions for the Michigan Wolverines, and I think you'll get some feeling about how futile it's been for them. Look at it. And that one touchdown, it was a result of Desmond Howard coming back around in front of Dana Hall and just picking his pocket.
When the only time they did score, they got great field position inside positive field position on Washington's 44-yard line.
And the pass was caught by an unexpected receiver, Walter Smith, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So now here Michigan sits on the horns of a dilemma. Do we go to a different offensive set? Now, they made offensive changes coming into this ball game because of the Washington defense.
Well, you don't do anything slow developing in the backfield. They threw all those out. They want to get to the line quickly, but they still are not getting positive plays. They're still getting negative plays on first and second down.
Okay, Robert. We'll talk with Bo Schembechler in a few minutes, but right now we want to join Bill Bessel on the University of Washington Husky Band.
The 70s rock group Earth, Wind & Fire created a picture in your mind. Set to music, here is Fantasy.
Now starring the Husky Band sousaphones, this is Scott Goflin's The Entertainer.
halftime at the 78th playing of the Rose Bowl game, with Washington leading Michigan 13-7. Back with Coach Bo Schembechler in a moment.
Cradled between mountains and sea, the city of Seattle is home to the University of Washington. The university reflects the beauty of its surrounding and provides a spectacular setting for a broad-based curriculum where over 33,000 students flourish. The university faculty garners more federal research and teaching grants than any other public university in America. It's a remarkable measure of the ability of a distinguished faculty that includes 2 Nobel Prize winners and 31 members of the National Academy of Sciences. It's this wealth of cutting-edge knowledge that enhances the learning experience for all students. No wonder the University of Washington is recognized as the heart of the great Northwest.
The Rose Bowl. Brought to you by Honda, maker of fine quality automobiles. Test drive a Honda at your local dealer today. And by UPS, offering 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery.
Ready to go with the second half of play. It was defense in the first half, and you can see that, I think, in looking at the stats for the quarterbacks.
Gerbach just having an awful day in the first half against a very tough defense. Holbert, you see those numbers. What is not there is the other quarterback for Washington, Mark Brunell, who did take him down, was 6 out of 7 for 51 yards and a field goal.
Desmond Howard has the ball to start the second half of play, and the Huskies have Desmond at the 23-yard line. And a little extra oomph seems to be hanging in every tackle that is made today. Brett Collins got most of that one on Desmond. So they'll start out with pretty much the same alignment we had in the first half of play for Michigan. Gerbach at quarterback. They used all 3 of their tailbacks, Powers, Johnson, and Wheatley. Leggett most of the time at fullback. He's there, and so is Powers to start the second half. Double wide to the top of the picture. And Gerbach gives the ball away to Ricky Powers, and he'll pick up from the 23 up to the 26. Andy Mason making the tackle. The offensive leaders for Michigan in the first half.
Yeah, they can't be too pretty. Michigan didn't do a lot. We talked about Elvis and his passing. Howard, 1 rushing play for 15 yards as the leading rusher, and he caught 1 pass, did Desmond Howard, for 35 yards, which set up their touchdown. Washington's defensive leaders was led by Fraley. Etman with 1 tackle.
He had more than that.
Well, they had 7 tackles for losses behind him.
Powers is run down behind the line of scrimmage right there. A loss of 3 yards by Dana Hall, a quarterback coming up to support at the boundary.
That makes 8 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. They come into the game averaging 14 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. This is what's so tough. You lose yardage on these guys.
Just starting the second half of play. It is 3rd and 9 now. Gerbach back to throw the ball. Jones just missed him, throws it over the line. It is caught, but Hoffman has the man, Powers, who made the reception out of the backfield. And Powers is not going to win a wrestling match with Dave Hoffman.
Keith, I think what we're seeing here is that Michigan does not have a sophisticated passing attack, and that without a running game, Michigan's passing attack is not that very good. Not that good.
Ascona is in the punt. But I'll tell you something. Nobody has made Michigan look like this all year. Not even Florida State.
Florida State was very similar in that they have the same speed, or similar to what Washington does.
Kick is away. Low line drive. It's taken by Bryant. Got a little daylight. Needs a block on the corner. Got it. And crosses midfield. Number 39 came downfield and got him around the corner. 39 for the Washington Huskies.
And Ascona got over there and helped out on the tackle.
Made the tackle, yeah. On the 34-yard punt and a 20-yard return.
He is going to get a block from the other side. Take a look at from the reverse angle. Williams is number 17. He gets inside of him. Now, there's a host of Wolverines, but the punter comes up and makes a nice hit.
At 39, ooh, look at that over the bench. Oh. At 39 on the kicking team, incidentally, is Chico Fraley. Changes his shirt. Jay Barry is in the backfield at tailback.
Michigan defensively, their leaders, Williams, the strong safety with 6 tackles and an interception. Now, possession-wise for Washington, a lot of possessions. Not many plays in some of them, but a lot of different possessions.
Hobert passes away. Bailey is out there, heading to. Bailey was wide open. Bailey was absolutely gotten completely free from Ware and was gone, and Hobert missed him by 5 yards.
That was an all-out blitz by defense. The defense was sending 6 guys. Very unusual. See how the number 8 Ware gets way to the inside to take away the inside of the field? Boy, as a quarterback, when you see him blitz and you have time and you got a man this wide open and you miss him, you never get it that good.
3rd down and 9. Well, McKay is the man under that one, and that's also overthrown by about 3 yards. So not a good series for Hobert.
The thing there, the first possession of the second half, Keith, Michigan comes out and shows an all-out blitz on 2nd down. Shows you that they're going to get after him a little bit more, try to make something happen.
Wardell to punt it and Howard to receive it. So far, they've kicked it to him.
As long as Michigan keeps it close, they always have Howard that can create something and make something happen very quickly.
One flashing moment. This whole thing could change. Very high. Out of bounds. Oh, it didn't. It kicked back inbounds. Well, that's a very artistic piece of kicking work by John Wardell as he kills it. Down in the coffin corner. As you can see, Pac-10 teams have had pretty good success over the last decade. Right now, Michigan will have the ball at the 8. The ball is placed at the 8 because that's where it hit one of the Washington players covering the kick. Wheatley is in the backfield, and a little swing pass out to Wheatley. He can fly. Hoffman is out there, 54. He missed him, but slowed him enough, and they run him down, but not until Wheatley has covered some real estate. Up to the 28-yard line, and here's Jackaroo.
Well, Keith, in the locker room, specifically Gary Moeller's Michigan locker room, he again tried to reemphasize that his team has to calm down. He feels Elvis Grbac is somewhat rattled by the pass rush. He told them they've got to think about it. Conversely, O'Don James needs to convert, he says, on the big plays. Also, Shane Pauakua has an injured shoulder. He's iffy. He'll be in and he'll be out.
Pitch back to Wheatley again. Finds a hole. Dana Hall got him by a foot, and once again, Wheatley's got a big gain out across the 45-yard line, and another Michigan first down.
Well, what they decided to do is run wide with Wheatley here, pitch it to him, spread him out a little bit, and then use his quickness and speed to offset the speed of the Huskies.
And he is a burner.
That play worked because they were not coming across as aggressively. Normally, a wide play like that wouldn't be that good. 2 plays in a row, 19 yards each play for Michigan.
Now they've got 6 of them down. They go after him this time, and they hit him behind the line of scrimmage. The first man to hit him is Donald Jones, and then Tyrone Rogers. Penn State has moved out to a 4-point lead over Tennessee in their ball game. It's 2nd down and 10 for Michigan. Howard is down to the bottom of the picture, going in motion the other way now. puts him out there against Tommy Smith. They come back with the fullback, and the pass is incomplete to Leggett. Both teams have the dropsies, don't they?
Well, Leggett is not one of their top receivers. They're trying to do something different by motioning Howard away and then throwing to their fullback, Leggett. He only caught 5 passes all year coming into the ball game. He's not one of their top men, but trying to change it up a little bit. Michigan has 2 big play people on the field, Keith, and that's, of course, Desmond Howard, but Wheatley, the tailback, has tremendous speed.
Third, still about 10. Gervach's pass over the head of Desmond Howard. He's a big player, a big play player, but he couldn't reach that.
Here's Howard here. He's going to go down and run it out. Now, let's run this thing. We'll show you how they get double coverage on him. The back, the corner on there is going to run deep. Now, that's zone coverage. Now, if you'll stop it right here, you'll see the linebacker stop right there also drops back to cover short, and that's why the ball was overthrown.
Ascona's 8th punt of the day. Fake. Eric Anderson running it. Doesn't work. Huskies ate it up. I told you about it earlier that he's done it 3 times for a first down, and they try it this time, and they eat it up, and there's a penalty flag on this side of the field. Watch Jimmy Harper.
We have the defensive team violates the neutral zone, 5-yard penalty.
So the Huskies make a mistake and lose this opportunity, but it is not a first down for Michigan. It'll be 4th and 5.
I think that's bad timing, Keith. You're backed up inside your own 45-yard line. I don't think this is the time to do it. 10 yards, and maybe when you're less, of course, they're going to be expecting it, but Anderson wears number 37 because he was a fullback in college. I mean, in high school, but when he got to college, they moved him to linebacker. But they've been looking for that play all day, and they decided not to check it off, to let it go and run it. They were just fortunate that the defense was holding.
So now they'll punt it, I think. Let me put it this way, I'll be very surprised.
Well, those plays...
Yeah, they just gave him the 5 yards back.
Those plays are good if they work. I mean, if they don't work, you look silly when you try them.
Delay a game, offensive team.
5-yard penalty against Michigan.
Penalty flag. Dino Bryant chases down the kick, takes a sideways bounce, and goes out of bounds up on the 25-yard line. But again, you have got a penalty flag thrown across the side, and again, it could be a Washington offside here. So they're both the
defensive team offside.
It's like they're playing in a bucket of quicksand. Let me tell you about the officials from the Southeastern Conference. Jimmy Harper is the man in the white hat. Linesman is Billy Schroer. Joe Delaney Jr. the field judge. Back judge is Charlie Horton. Umpire is Nate Anderson. The line judge is Tommy Lorino. Remember him, running back War Eagle. Side judge is John Borney, and the alternate's Mac Gentry. So we're wearing out the grass on that one little strip of 5 yards there in the middle of the field. Going back and forth, all to naught. Everybody put the hands in the pocket and kick the thing. Get it out of there. Andy Mason had some penetration. That's a very good kick. Dino Bryant calling a fair catch, and the ball dribbles on into the end zone as he let it go. And Washington will get their hands on it here in the second half for the first time at their own 20.
Washington takes over 1st and 10 at their own 20.
The Goodyear Blimp Columbia out of Carson, California. The pilot's Charles Russell. He's from Redondo Beach. The cameraman's Glenn Hampton. Hey, Charlie, don't you have to look where you're going? Glenn Hampton growing that prolific beard. He gets a little whiter. We're going to get you a red suit. Here go the Huskies to the attack now with Beano Bryant carrying the ball from the 20 up to the 26 to pick up to 6 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4. The Huskies are sitting on a 13-7 lead with 9.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Now they put 2 wideouts at the bottom of the picture, hand it off inside to Bryant. And Bryant runs into some big people wearing maize and blue and stops rather abruptly as 92 takes him down. That would be Mike Evans, the senior from Roxbury, Massachusetts.
Wolverine defense is pretty tough coming out after halftime.
They're probably going to need to paint the walls in both locker rooms after the conferences at halftime. Over, fakes it, keeps it, throws it, plays good to Pierce, the tight end. 1st down, Washington, just short of midfield. Pretty good looking play, that.
Very good looking play. And this is the way it was designed. Here's the tight end. He's going to come off the line of scrimmage. And as the fake is made out here, watch the linebackers when the ball and the strong safety, they're all going to bite on it. And when the fake is made, the linebackers come up. Tight end gets behind him in an open area. Well-designed play.
1st down, 48. Jimmy Harper calls time here. For some reason, going to unknot the chain. How do you guys get a knot the chain? Call it the 49-yard line. Over. Little quick drop, little quick pop to the sideline. Pass caught by Gaspard. Curtis Gaspard out of New Orleans, Louisiana, where they're going to play the USF&G Sugar Bowl tonight. Makes it another 1st down for the Washington Huskies. And it's at the Michigan 36.
1st down passing, best time to throw. Big offensive line gives him lots of time. Pitch and catch. Gaspard's the number 3 wide receiver for the Huskies, and Huskies lose all 3 of their top receivers next year.
Beano Bryant is in no man's land back there as Billy Joe handed it off and ambled on out there, and all of a sudden there was nothing but dark blue around him, and Buster Stanley got most of him to take him down for no gain. 2nd down and 10 coming up. Darius Turner checks back in as Mark Bruner goes off for the Huskies. That's a name you might tuck away. You'll hear it a lot next year. Freshman tight end. Over. Again, throwing short, goes to the fullback Turner, and Turner is down to about the 30, where he is taken down by Wallace.
Well, let me show you, Keith, what they're doing with. They're dropping back in zones. These 4 guys, these linebackers, are all going to drop back into zones right about in here. And what Michigan is going to do is just get somebody underneath them, dump them the ball. Watch how deep they get. The inside, the linebackers get well deep, and then so you got 10 yards between them and the receiver by the time he gets the ball.
3rd and 4. There goes Bryant. That's a 1st down at the Michigan 25 before Evans can stop it. So that little second effort, that little surge by Beano Bryant gives Washington another 1st down. So it looks like both teams have come out doing what Bo said they should be doing, and that's laying your ears back and setting your jaw and run the ball.
Well, it's the passing game, though, that's opening up the run. Yeah.
Run it again. And Turner roots in there for 3. Second down and 7 as we get a little hail to the victors music from the UM band. Forward. Wants to go deep. Almost has it intercepted. He threw the ball right into the arms of Lance Dotton, and Dotton cutting in front of Mario Bailey. Just didn't catch it. Billy Joe is lucky to get that one back.
Bailey's just running a kind of the receiver that just went by was the man he really wanted to get the ball to. Bailey, number 5, is the kind of the outlet. He couldn't wait any longer.
Took a lick, didn't he?
He did.
On third down, goes outside. He's got some room, throws it, and he was all right. He was not across the line of scrimmage. The ball is caught by Bailey down in the corner, and the Huskies have it inside the 5-yard line. He let that thing go about a half a yard or so short of the line of scrimmage. It was close. I think he was all right.
I think he was too, Keith. And this gives you the perspective of what a quarterback on the move can do. Gerbach cannot throw on the run outside the pocket. Hobart can. Mario Bailey goes down, moves around a little bit. Brown had the coverage and moved back inside, but they're in good shape inside the 5-yard line.
Pitch it back to Bino Bryant, and he gets planted by Eric Anderson at the 5, and I mean taken down.
What a great linebacker he is. You know, defensive player of the year in the Big Ten. Mentioned the Butkus Award, leading the team in tackles all these years.
Loss on that play of 2 yards to put it back at the 5, and it's second down and goal for the Huskies. Hobart stops, throws back across, touchdown, Mark Bruner. Bruner is doing a dance right on the back line of the end zone.
Well, the coverage is there, but a mobile quarterback gives you time for the receivers to improvise and do something else. Bruner, a true freshman, playing his first year of college football, breaks back the same way the quarterback is running and then keeps his feet in bounds.
And they've got the look of going for 2, and they are. At 19-7, they will go. They'll throw it. There again is mobility. Good. Pierce. So one tight end catches the touchdown. The other tight end catches the 2-point conversion. It's 21-7 Washington. And Hobart in that possession, 5 of 6 for 66 yards.
From behind the quarterback, again, penetration forces him to get outside the pocket. This may have been designed because everybody is working that way. Look at this. Great play.
'81, these two teams went at it in the Rose Bowl, and it was a big day for John Wengler and Anthony Carter and Bo Schembechler. Bo's first win in the Rose Bowl as his Wolverines beat Washington 23-6.
Big drive there. Took it on their own 20-yard line in 12 plays. Took it down for a score.
An unsportsmanlike call moves the ball on a penalty on the kickoff up to the 50-yard line for exactly what it is not defined. Jason Crabb will kick it off, and Desmond Howard will wait for it down there with Wheatley. But he hangs it high at the 1-yard line. It's Wheatley. Oh, look out. Almost got a face mask, and they get him way back down the field at the 5-yard line. He may have a face mask coming here. Somebody reached that looked like they might have had a little hold of it, but I thought he let it go in time. I think he did. Yep. don't call it.
Wheatley with the best speed of the running backs. He got his hand on there, didn't he? Yeah. Got it off there. He didn't get it off there real quick. Of course, that's slow motion, but
side of the helmet.
Had it on there for a while.
All right, Michigan's ball, but it's certainly no place to be terribly adventurous. Back on your own 5-yard line, trailing 21-7 with 5:21 to go in the third quarter. Ricky Powers is the tailback, and all of a sudden Elvis Grbac looks around with what he's got called and what Washington is lined up and the circumstances presenting itself, and says, I'm going to have a conference.
That's just poor planning right there. That's you just don't waste touchdowns, timeouts when you're behind. Let's go back to the previous Washington touchdown. The back in motion is going to come out here. The man he wants to throw it to is here. He's going to go down and break to the outside. Now let's go ahead and run it, and we'll show you that the initial play is covered. Everybody is covered. Now when Brunell starts back the other way, and stop it right here. Watch the tight end here. He's going to go back and work the other way as the quarterback works back the other way. When the quarterback starts running, the tight end, who is the freshman, that's Bruner, goes back the other way, and he finds him in the back of the end zone.
To give you some idea of what's going on today and some perspective, now there's the story of Desmond Howard on 1991.
Totaled 104 yards. He has caught one pass, only one pass for 35 yards. He's run reverse for 15 yards. And he's the kick returns and the punt.
In case you're curious about Mario Bailey, the other little guy with S on his chest, 4 catches, 76 yards. Powers out of the end zone will get 2 on the play. That gets your clock rolling as we head inside 5 minutes. I'm inclined, I know that you sit here and watch a ball game go like this, Bob Gracie and Bo Schembechler, but I'm inclined to say the Washington defense is responsible for the Michigan offense not going anywhere, because the Michigan offense ain't going to go that bad that quick. There's too much skill there. That's one of the best offensive lines I've ever seen in college football. Look at this.
The basic problem, Keith, is what you're seeing is the speed and the power. Edmonds got the power, but they've got the speed to go with it. Michigan needs to establish a running game. Take a look at Edmond, number 90, right in the middle of that offensive line. That's Elliott. Just gets blown back by Edmond, and then by that time, when he recovers, the rest of those guys are in there.
That's one of the best offensive linemen in America, Matt Elliott, and that big old guy right there just ran over him, just manhandled him.
Michigan needs the foundation of a running game before they can do anything else. Washington has taken the running game away from them.
They're back in the end zone. Gets his pass off to the sideline, and it's thrown into the band.
Well, you're thrown out of your own end zone now, and the team has been sacking you and been right near you all the time. So this is not an easy place to throw from. He just throws this ball high, throwing it away from the defensive back, but he's 4 of 15 and 67 yards.
Ascona gets a pretty good kick out of the end zone. Vino Bryant takes it at the 43, looking for a little help, retreats and goes down at the 48. So he loses 5 in trying to return a 40-yard punt. At 3:38 to play in the third quarter, the Huskies leading 21-7 get the ball back. And after our ball game here in Pasadena, we'll go off to New Orleans for the USF&G Sugar Bowl. I think this will be a very entertaining matchup. Lou Holtz and Steve Spurrier squaring off. Matching wits. Vino Bryant is being helped to the bench. That's bad news for Washington. Into the game is Jade Barry, number 42. He's the junior out of North Glen, Colorado. Behind Barry now would be Napoleon Kaufman, the swift freshman from Lompoc. One Seattle writer defined Kaufman's feet as looking like needles in a sewing machine when he runs.
I'm not going to say anything.
I thought that's pretty good.
I like it.
Second down and 5. This is Barry again, and nothing there this time. 37 is on top, but the big fella underneath the pile is number 65, Neil Simpson.
Keith, you mentioned that Sugar Bowl game with Notre Dame and Florida. We mentioned Shade Matthews is back, but Rick Meyer, been some talk about him maybe being his last ball game. He is an outstanding young quarterback.
Right ankle injury for Bino Bryant. Billy Joe Hobert throws the ball quickly, gets it outside out there, and gets his first down to Mario Bailey. Mario is 5'9", 170, a senior from Seattle Franklin High School.
It's just a quick hit. She's just going to go down 5 or 6 steps and stop. They're going to get him the ball right now and then say, hey, do something with it. This is the thing that Michigan needs to be doing with Desmond Howard. Throw the ball out to him and let him use his running ability. He is the most dangerous guy in the country. Mario is not bad himself.
This is Matt Jones, a sophomore fullback from Portland, Oregon. And he takes it down to the Michigan 25, 24. So Washington now starting on certain kinds of plays. They're getting big chunks. And it's second down and 2. Winding down toward the end of the third quarter, a minute and 40 seconds to go. Double tight end, Pierce and Bruner. Barry. Hobert lets it go to the corner for Orlando McKay, and it's too long. So McKay, who is a member of a record-holding relay team, 5'11", 180, and I mean, you know about flyers. Ooh-wee, here's Jackaroo.
Well, Keith, this is not good news for the Washington Huskies. Bino Bryant is behind me right here, and they are wrapping his severely sprained right ankle. I talked to Steve Bramwell. He said actually what they think is he's out for the game. He said if the swelling goes down, they'll try him in the fourth quarter.
Okay, Jack, thanks.
They got enough points. Defense is all they need now.
Jay Barry slamming in there, and the man with his arms around his legs is Eric Anderson, number 37. Now you're looking at 4th and 1 as Barry got half of what they needed. And they're going to go. Henson is not coming. Gaspard comes instead. And so they'll go for the first down. Novak, 4th and 1 and no backs. Hobert just pulls it down and dives ahead and picks up about 4 yards and gets a first down at the 20. Penn State now rolling against Tennessee. Big, strong team. They got better every week, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
I like the future of Tony Sackett, too, at that size and strength he brings in. I think he's got some playing days in front of him, don't you?
I like his size, and I like his arm strength.
Hobert back, comes one down the pipe. Pierce pulls it in. He's inside the 10-yard line, and another Washington first down. The Huskies will have it first and goal at about the 8. 6 catches, 84 yards for Big 84.
Watch him just get in between the 2 linebackers. Right there, Morrison and Anderson. Tight end just gets in between them. The quarterback can choose him if he wants to or throw it other places, but Pierce is a good tight end, all Pac-10. Knows how to get open.
This is Barry. And he'll take it down to the 5 for a 3-yard pickup. Second down and goal. And we run out of time in the third quarter. Washington leading 21-7. Looking to get more. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC station. Washington won here a year ago, and so they're trying to match the feat of UCLA and Terry Donahue's teams winning in '83 and '84. They won yesterday down in El Paso.
Couldn't believe that score.
Yeah.
UCLA and Illinois, two high-powered offenses, 6-3.
A lot of wind, though. Second down and goal for the Huskies. Give it to Barry. He's at the 3-yard line, a 2-yard pickup.
Pierce is 84. Anderson 37. The top middle there. He's going to watch. He gets blocked temporarily. That's what makes him so good. I mean, other linebackers would be blocked and stay blocked, but Anderson pops up in enough time to get over and make the tackle. You know, Keith, he's 6'2" and 242 pounds. I don't know how fast he is, but I would think he'd make a very good linebacker's coach.
So do I. Pass, touchdown, Pierce.
Here we go. The motion is here. The play action is here. The quarterback is going to roll out this way. And Pierce right here is going to go deep and sneak to the back of the end zone. Just come across. Play action fake. Holds the linebackers. Now he starts rolling to buy some time. But Pierce is a good receiver.
Pick is good. No, it's not good. He missed it. He missed it. 27-7. There's your possession for Washington. They ran 11 plays before Pierce reeled it in. His 7th catch, 86 yards. Jason Crabb will kick it off. For Washington, Desmond Howard and Tyrone Wheatley are deep, and Michigan needs some big plays. Wheatley comes sidling up, lets it bounce in front of him, and then takes off down the field to the 29-yard line, close to the 30. Bo Schembechler is sitting away from me here, and I can't tell whether he was considering going down on the field or not, but he looks absolutely disgruntled about things.
Well, I think we've run into the #1 team in the country, and they're playing that way.
They are playing well. There's no question about it. But here, Bo, the game plan kind of goes with the board, doesn't it?
Play catch up now. We've got to pass, trap, screen, and draw, and do the best job we can to score as often and as fast as we can.
Michigan's longest sustained drive so far in this ball game today has been 5 plays. That's not much. Tight end Debo in front of that bullet from Gerbach, and he couldn't hold it as 2 Huskies hit him when the ball arrived. And the biggest piece of the tackle would go to that man, Dave Hoffman. So it's 2nd down and 10 for Michigan, trailing 27-7. Nothing on that one either, as the gain maybe for a yard by Jesse Johnson. And after 3 quarters, these stats may stagger you.
Well, first of all, look at the total plays. The second one from the top. 71 plays for Washington to only 38 for Michigan. Total yards, 331 for Washington, only 94. Passing yards for Michigan, 67. Rushing yards for Michigan, only 27, and 5 first downs. The domination of Washington defense has been total.
Out of the shotgun, Gerbach moving around a little bit, gets his pass off. Oh, man, is that thing clobbered. Knocked loose, and the Michigan man picked it up.
Gerbach that picked it up.
Jaime Fields really put a lick on Jesse Johnson.
Protection is good for Elvis this time. Slides to his left. Doesn't throw real well on the run. This Jaime Fields just comes from out of nowhere. Looked like he had possession of it. They ruled that he did. 4th and 1.
That's a long one. Gerbach trying to go for it. I don't think he made it. I don't think he made it. On 4th and about 1.5 yards. Huskies are going to take over that ball inside the Michigan 40.
Well, they ran left behind Skrepenek, and we haven't mentioned his name hardly at all today, Keith. Great Skrepenek, the big 325-pounder who lines up on the left side. They like to run short yardage behind him.
Incidentally, Impman and Skrepenek have not been head-to-head today. They have not squared off as such. He didn't make it. Huskies hold and take over.
Impman, he's a farm boy. He grew up on a farm of 2,700 acres, and he says it's still in my blood, and it'll always be in my blood. He says when my playing days are over, I'll go back and I'll live on the farm.
Mark Brunell comes out to quarterback this possession for Washington. They stick it in the end zone here. You're served, Miami.
Well, you can be sure that the Hurricanes are looking at this one and knowing what their job is just to stay up with Washington.
Down the corner, Bailey! Touchdown!
I don't know if that was good or not, but there's no replay.
2 arms went up, that's all I can tell you.
Yeah. Mark Brunell, the MVP of last year's Rose Bowl game. Let's take a look at this one. No, he didn't. I don't know about that one. Yeah, that's get a little help from the ground on that one.
Kick is good this time. And it's just like that, 34-7. That probably is the will breaker. Mario Bailey there in the middle, who just caught the touchdown pass. The kickoff will drift back to the 4-yard line for Tyrone Wheatley, freshman out of Dearborn Heights, and he's out close to the 29-yard line. Take another look at it, and it is marginal as to whether or not he really had possession.
But whether he catches this ball or whether or not is not going to make any difference in the outcome of this ball game, which he did not catch it. But what it's going to make a difference is the guys voting in the polls tomorrow morning. If Miami wins tonight, and there's the polls, and there is the competition right there. Bailey now with 18 touchdown catches on the year. Desmond Howard has 19. But to get back to my point, if Washington really wins by a big margin, Miami may have to do the same thing this evening.
Wheatley carries. James Clifford takes him down. We pause 5 seconds right here to allow our ABC stations to identify themselves.
You're watching WSB-TV Channel 2 Atlanta.
And daylight departing on yon horizon as we see the brightly lit Rose Bowl here in the Arroyo Horizon as we see the brightly lit Rose Bowl here in the Arroyo Seco in Pasadena, California. Gerbach is 5 of 17 in the ball game, 72 yards. Ricky Powers is your tailback. Gerbach to throw it, pressure coming from the backside, gets it away, pass is good. And Tony McGee will pick up a first down for the Wolverines out to the 44-yard line. He almost popped out of there and made something out of it as Clifford comes up humbling. Clifford was a starter, and Jim got dinged up, lost his job, and hasn't been able to really get back in the lineup. He's only a junior.
Well, he missed last year with the knee injury, Keith. In fact, in '89, 2 years ago, he led the entire Pac-10 in tackles. So they got a lot of depth at linebacker.
Gerbach throws it down the middle. That's a pretty good catch by Yale Van Dyne. They've tried him 2 or 3 times today, but that's really the first time that he's been able to get his hands on it. And he makes the catch. And he's a tough little guy. Not so little either. He's a pretty good size, 195 pounds.
Named after Yale Larry.
Yeah.
He's playing because of the injury earlier in the season to Derek Alexander,
who will be back next year, I would presume, and who's also a flyer. With Alexander teaming with Howard, that would have been terrible. That really gives you some speed. Verback's pass thrown out to the sideline again. Ricky Powers, the tailback. 1, 2, 3, 4 Huskies all over him, including Clifford, who was hobbling a minute ago. Still a little gimpy, but won't let him pull him out. Time remaining in this game coming up on 11 minutes. And Washington in control of the thing at 34-7.
Well, Michigan's not alone. There were 9 other teams in the Pac-10 or in their schedule of Washington that couldn't run against the Washington defense.
Whoa. Verback gets it away just in time, and it ricochets off the arm of Yale Van Dyne, incomplete. Now you're looking at a penalty on somebody. Michigan, motion.
Offensive team. 3rd down.
They'll accept the penalty, bring up 3rd down.
It's been a great year for Gary Moeller, though, the last 2 years, really. He's been 19-4. He did something in 2 years at Michigan that Bo Schembechler couldn't do in 28 years at Michigan, and that is bring a Heisman Trophy around.
Yeah, but Bo brought Desmond.
Yeah, well, I guess that's true.
And Henderson. Wheatley. He can haul it. It's a touchdown. Tyrone Wheatley showing you his blazing speed.
Take a look at it. Man-to-man coverage in the secondary. The defensive backs are not looking at the line of scrimmage. They're looking at the men they're covering. And Wheatley with tremendous speed. We mentioned Desmond Howard and Wheatley were the 2 game breakers on that offense.
J.D. Carlson's in for the try. And it's good. In the first 26 plays of this ball game rushing, Michigan had 35 yards. On that one play, they get 53. The Goodyear blimp comes from Carson, California, and they call her Columbia. And Charles Russell is flying it. Glenn Hampton is making the pictures, and it's quite a sight. Rose Bowl. Onside kick coming up. Good bounce on it. Good bounce. Ball's in the air. Washington got it.
Good kick, though, huh?
Yeah, it was. Really good. Had a chance. That's all you can ask for. And a 34-14 ball game with 10:33 to play.
Has to go 10 yards before Michigan can touch it, but it doesn't have to go 10 before Washington. Now, since it's been touched, all bets are off. Washington went up and touched it within 10 yards.
That's Dana Hall.
Yeah, or Mario Bailey.
Not Mario Bailey. No.
They've got 2 number 5s on this
he
team.
grew a bunch.
Yeah. They hold a record, too, the Rose Bowl record. For the there's only been one time that 2 number 5s on the same team in the same Rose Bowl game scored a touchdown, and both of them did that last year.
So the Huskies go to work now with Napoleon Kaufman at tailback, and they take the first snap from the 44-yard line. And speaking of Washington football, here's Jack with more.
Well, Keith, in the day and age when people talk about recessions and budget cutbacks, would you be surprised to find out that overall the athletic budget at the University of Washington showed a net profit of over $5.3 million last year? The major reason, according to sources there, the success of their football team. The football team netted a profit of over $10 million. Now, where did the money go? Well, it went to fund women's soccer and women's softball.
Won't tell you how much Michigan football means. That's Kaufman. And a penalty flag, and he's a burner. But you figure that the Wolverines draw over 100,000 every time they play at home, plus all of the television, plus all of the other stuff that goes with it, plus the fact Michigan's been to 16 consecutive bowls.
Yes, they have.
I mean, that's probably why you see armored cars with the name Schembeckler on the side rolling down the road. Leased to the University of Michigan. 42-7, 17. Penn State beats Tennessee. And we're sitting right now at the 48-yard line with Washington in possession on the Michigan 48, and the Huskies leading by 20. Michigan just scored on a 53-yard run by Tyrone Wheatley. And following us will be the USF&G Sugar Bowl, Notre Dame, and Florida. Billy Joe Hobert throws that ball down the middle for his tight end Aaron Pierce. There were two Wolverines there, and Pierce does not catch it, not with Morrison and Anderson hanging all over it. The Washington defense has been the single dominating force in this ball game, and that big fella right there has been a major part of it.
He's go ahead.
We still don't know whether or not he's going to come back next year, play his senior year.
Yeah, he's a fourth-year junior, which means he's been in school for 4 years, and he's had an insurance policy, a $1 million insurance policy to protect him.
Pass intended for Orlando McKay. Coverage by Wallace of Michigan, and it is incomplete. It brings in 4th down, and here comes the punter. John Wardell's had a pretty good day for the Washington Huskies. His shortest kick 36, his longest 53, and he's hit it 4 times so far. This is his 5th. And once again, Desmond Howard goes deep. Washington undefeated, trying to win their 12th consecutive ball game this season.
Win a national championship.
Yep. Headed for the corner. Desmond makes the reception at the 10 and then goes out of bounds.
A nice job of kicking that ball away from him, Keith.
Yeah, if you can make him run to the sidelines with his back to the field, most of the time you've got a chance at it. That's Steve Everett. He broke his jaw in the game against Notre Dame back early in the season. That has just been an awful year for him. An outstanding center. Fine student in graphic arts. Nice young man. But it's just been a miserable year for a football season for him.
He's been back. He's been playing. Then he hurt his ankle out here this week and was not able to play in the game today. But he has another year left.
This is Wheatley. They're going to work him now. Huskies have pretty much taken, that's Matt Elliott right there, who moved over from guard to center, replacing Steve Everett.
Matt was an adventurist. He did some skydiving this past summer, and when he jump out the guy that was on the ground had a one-way radio with it into his helmet, and the radio went out. He was supposed to direct him to the target. He was banging on the side of his helmet with one hand and pulling the toggles with the other.
Gerback throws hard. Catch is made, and Wheatley fighting for the first down, and it looks like he may have had it. I think here's a running back of the future for Michigan.
That's a pretty good one right there. A wide receiver, Mario Bailey, a senior. He'll be coming out. Not many people east of the Mississippi ever heard of Mario Bailey before tonight, but we've showed you a couple of times. He had caught one more pass than Desmond Howard, and for more yardage. Trails Desmond now by 1 touchdown on the year as far as receiving.
Howard's up there on the boundary with Dana Hall checking him, and Gerback will get no chance to throw it. Dave Hoffman got him. So the big middle linebacker from San Jose sacks in. That's 10 tackles for a loss and 4 quarterback sacks for the Washington defense tonight.
We'll go and show you what they've been doing to Desmond Howard. Here's Desmond right here. He's just going to run a route up the sideline, but watch the safety as he goes over and helps double cover Desmond Howard. He hasn't been getting this all night long, but watch the safety to the left of your screen. Now stop it right there. You see the two men on Desmond plus the sideline. He's had some single coverage, but when he has had single coverage, Gerbach has not had a lot of time to look for him.
Gerbach, after the sack, lets it go, and Wheatley checked by Dana Hall. Really no chance to catch the ball, and he'll be looking at 3rd down and 18. As Gerbach on the sack lost 8 yards. Hall right there, 6'3", 200 pounds plus. Hurdler, 4.4 speed. How would you like to get hit by a guy who is about 207 or 8 pounds running that fast?
Going that fast. No, thank you.
I'm going to show you the attendance after this play. It's a bunch. 3rd down. Pressure coming. Jones after him. Passes away. Ricky Powers. Way short of the 1st down. Pickup of about 9 yards. And we'll bring up 4th down. And here's your crowd. 103,566. Future Wolverine faithful. Might be a future fullback. On 4th down, they go for it. And Gerbach gets it. He threw a Hummer to Yale Van Dyne, and Van Dyne reeled it in, and it's 1st down Wolverines. As they pick up 11 yards, and they needed 9.5.
You know, Elvis Gerbach, Keith, coming into this ball game, had a unique thing going with Desmond Howard. They were the most prolific passing combination in the history of college football in terms of touchdown passes. They have thrown 31 touchdown passes between the two of them, more than anybody else that has ever played college football. One of those tonight, though.
Jesse Johnson on an inside handoff breaks the play big and crosses midfield, brought down at the Washington 45-yard line. Now the Washington defense grows a little permissive.
Talking about
Michigan hurrying without a huddle.
Yeah, just talking about Gerbach and Desmond Howard. They went to the same high school, St. Joe's in Cleveland, Ohio, and Desmond only caught 1 pass from Gerbach in high school. It was a wishbone team. They didn't throw a lot. Can you imagine Gerbach as a wishbone quarterback? Going from that to just outstanding recruiting, I guess, by Bo on that one.
I can't imagine him as a wishbone quarterback.
I can't either. I think Bo went down to look at
what did you see, Bo?
I think he's looking at Desmond.
What did you see?
That was a shot in the dark.
First down. Oh, the ball squirts right out of Gerbach's arms, up into the air, and put down on the ground, held by Michigan at their own 49-yard line. Mark Melia, who's now in at center, made the recovery, and that thing is getting pretty slick for the Wolverines. Center snap came back really hard, didn't it? That's high, too. Gerbach manages to catch it. Throws to Van Dyne. Van Dyne's become the principal receiver. There's a gain back a yard beyond the original line of scrimmage. So they'll be looking at 3rd and 9. Tommy Smith.
It's almost as if Keith Gerbach is looking away from Desmond.
Miami has jumped to lead Nebraska 7-0.
Well, this is definitely putting the pressure on Miami. Not only to win, but to score and to win big.
Steve Everett is now in the ball game at center. Wanted to play some, and he's in there. There's movement on both sides. Both sides. Tournament of Champions, the Infinity Tournament of Champions. On Sunday, January 12 on ABC Sports from La Costa Country Club. Top golfers, winners. Got to be a champion to get in this tournament. Tee it off in the final round of the Infinity Tournament at 3 Eastern, 2 Central, and Pacific here on ABC Sports, Sunday, January 12. Here's Steve Everett. Michigan now 8 penalties and 62 yards. They're back down again. Down inside the 45, down at the 44. Here's Jack.
Bob Greasy, you said Bo Schembechler got lucky when he got Elvis Grbac. He almost didn't get him at all. You see, his family were immigrants from Croatia. They left in 1967, and the first place they went was to a relocation camp in Italy. Now, they had a choice of 2 countries, Australia or the United States. They almost went to the Australians, but what they did is they had only one family that they knew in Cleveland that was from Croatia, so they decided to go to the U.S.
2 of their children born here, 2 born in Croatia, and a pretty good kick. Rolls around, comes back upfield a bit, and he'll put it down inside the 20 at the 18. Eddie Ascona. But there have now been in this game 12 tackles for the Washington defense for a loss, and there have been 5 quarterback sacks. So that's enough to get you a little addled. That could make you downright cranky.
Well, there's no question that the dominant part of this whole game has been the Washington defense. Washington offensively has played well, but Washington defensively sets the tone for the rest of the game, and they've been doing this all year.
Billy Joe Hobart in there at quarterback with Barry behind him. Give it to Matt Jones, the up man, out of the eye. Not much.
Well, Washington wins this game, Keith. They certainly have got a strong voice toward winning a national championship. And they're up there in the polls with Miami. It might put some pressure on Miami to beat Nebraska as badly as Washington beat Nebraska earlier in the season.
Well, Miami jumped up and got a quick one against the Cornhuskers. Remember that black November Saturday a year ago when we got up in the morning with all kinds of possibilities. This is Barry carrying. Huskies now just chewing on the clock. We had Ohio State at Iowa, and we had UCLA, a crippled team, at Washington. And if both Iowa and Washington won, it looked like we might have a national championship game in the Rose Bowl. Both lost. Otherwise, the Huskies might well have been sitting there number 1 all year going into the season. Well, I sort of agree with Bo. They showed me a good long time ago. I mean, that's a pretty good football team. And that ball is almost picked off. It was intended for Orlando McKay, and stepping in front is Martin Davis, and he almost came down with it. You take a look at these polls that are up around the country, and of course everybody's got an opinion. You've got as many polls, I guess, as you've got opinions. But the thing that they kept talking about, this would be the perfect year to have your 2-team playoff after the bowls, with thinking Washington and Miami would both win. Well, that's right. But suppose you got yourself into a fix with all of that planning and all that commitment, and they both lost.
They both lose. Exactly.
Have a mess.
Or one of them loses, and then you got the game plan. You've sold tickets for it.
Coverage on Howard. No chance. It's been a day of blanks for Desmond Howard. He had one big play, and that was all. Well, here are your polls. AP and USA Today, CNN coaches poll had Miami won. UPI and the Soccer and Computer has Washington won. You could sit and argue about it till your tongue fell out. It wouldn't make any difference. But as far as I'm concerned, the coaches poll has them tied, interesting. As far as I'm concerned, this is the best kind of marketing there is.
Well, that's for sure. Everybody talking about it, discussing it.
Down goes Todd Collins, a redshirt freshman from Walpole, Mass. And Todd just got baptized by the Huskies defense by Donald Jones from Gladys, Virginia. And Donald told me where Gladys is. It's down by Lynchburg.
Second and 20.
I've been looking for Gladys all year.
Donald Jones with his 3rd sack of the game.
13 total tackles for a loss by the Husky defense now. Collins' pass almost intercepted. Here's Jack.
Well, Keith, you talk about that chase for the national championship. Of course, the Washington Huskies trying to chase the Miami Hurricanes. Well, Don James is a graduate back in 1954. Great quarterback back there for the Miami Hurricanes. Earlier this year, he revealed to us that he actually every year sends a donation to his alma mater. So I asked him if maybe that buys some books for some of the players, and he just chuckled.
Alumni dues, that's what he sends. He says that gives me the right to complain if they don't win, or if they win by too much. It's not enough if you win. Now, if you win by too many, they will get on you. If you don't win by enough, they get on you.
On 3rd and 19, a pass to the sidelines to Van Dyne, out of bounds at the 29. And that obviously is well short of anything akin to a first down.
Tommy Smith ran him out.
Well, Bo said a little while ago that he liked Washington. He thought we were looking at the #1 team. Are you going to step up and say that? Is that your feeling?
That's my feeling after I see them today, particularly that suffocating defense, Keith. I have never seen a defense quite that good, particularly out here in the Rose Bowl. I don't think we've ever played against one that's been quite that good.
Tyrone Wheatley can't do much with it. Tyrone Rogers, number 57, dancing around. And it's now the beginning of the celebration, I think, for the Washington Huskies. Coming right behind us will be Notre Dame in Florida out of the USF&G Sugar Bowl down in New Orleans. Our crowd today, 103,566. I want to thank Bo Schembechler for visiting with us. Bob Greasy, of course, all through the season. Tremendous season for you, Bob. Thank you.
Enjoyed working with you, Keith, as always.
Jack Arute, banging his way through the tough times of weather and all sorts of duress on the sideline. Another great job for Jack. As the Huskies now, with Napoleon Kaufman running it, just going to eat up the clock. The executive producer of ABC Sports is Jack O'Hara. Coordinating producer of ABC's College Football, Bob Goodrich. Today's producer. Our game today directed by Larry Cam. Again, good job, Larry. Technical director, Gary Larkin. Associate producer for College Football, Jimmy Ressler. Associate director, Dave Kiviat. Unit manager, Joe Alvarado. Al Fong and Hal Schmidt, tech op managers. Assistants to the producer, Mitch Green, Steve Shump. Statistician, Dave Burnson. Spotter, Todd Barry. Computer stats, Mark Amento and Tim Goodman. Eric Jorgensen checks in at fullback now. Give it to Napoleon Kaufman. And he slips as he tries to make his cut. He was on his way to a touchdown, and the feet went out from under him. Our booth coordinator, Jenny Thompson, and our sideline coordinator, Dick Schafter. I'm Keith Jackson, and we hope you've enjoyed this season of college football here on ABC. The worst Michigan defense defeat in a Rose Bowl game ever coming into today was only 10 points, or any bowl game for that matter was only 10 points. They lost in the 1983 Rose Bowl to UCLA by 10. Right now they trail Washington by 20, and the Huskies are trying to put more on the board. Bjornsson sets him up. He's got Kaufman at tailback. Gives it to him. And he sort of disappears into the crowd. And the time remaining is 35 seconds. They might get one more. They'll get one more play.
Well, the Washington players are voting for #1. They're trying to get their votes in early. You know, Keith, there's a lot of sentiment around that if Miami wins, that there should be 2 co-national championships.
Well, I wouldn't grumble about that.
Don James himself said it would be a shame if one of them.
This is Kaufman again, and he's not going to get to the end zone. They roll him up inside the 5, and time runs out, and Don James has his first ever undefeated season. The first ever 12-game winner at the University of Washington, as the Huskies beat the Michigan Wolverines by a score of 34-14. We'll be back with the trophy presentation in a moment.
The Rose Bowl. Brought to you by Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. By Mylanta Antacid. My doctor said Mylanta. And by Pepsi.
The final score, 34-14. The Chevrolet most valuable players in the game were Donald Jones for the Washington Huskies, 3 sacks, 3 tackles, a truckload of pressure. Eric Anderson, 10 tackles defensively for Michigan. It was the day for the defense. Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund, rewarding outstanding students for their academic achievements to help those in financial need. Now let's join Jack Arute.
Well, Keith, it's my pleasure to introduce the president, Bob Cheney, of the Tournament of Roses for the presentation.
Don, congratulations. Your vote's for number 1. If I had a vote, it would be for number 1.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob. Well, it's a great game, great group of guys, and Michigan's one heck of a football team. They did a good job. Thank you.
Coach, let's talk about this, though. This game today was just like the rest of them. It was a defensive struggle. Your defense seemed to be much stronger.
Well, they had a great first half, and our offense moved the ball and missed a couple of scoring opportunities, but we got all we need.
Now, what about the chase for number 1? So much talk all year. Now you've gone undefeated. A great game, a high-scoring game.
Well, yeah, you know I'm from Miami, but I'm going to have to say go Nebraska.
What about you? You send your alumni dues every year, but what were the most important things about this team this year that separated from other teams?
Well, they just got better. They worked hard. They had the best work habits we've ever had. They worked harder than any other bowl team we've ever had. They went week in and